Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today we are going to be interviewing Kapaw. The game he made was Mini Jam 169, Future in parentheses, Victory Works. The status is released, the platform is HTML5, the offer is Kapaw, and the genre is action. The game is about a girl named Victoria, and she goes into our space, and her goal is to shoot these boxes or the enemies in order to survive. I personally like the game because it brings back childhood to similar arcade games like Asteroids. I can think of anything else, stuff like that. So, we're going to be interviewing Kapaw today, who is a fox, and it'll be interesting to see how and why they made the game and the other questions I'm going to ask. So, I'm going to call him up. See you for the interview. Alright, guys, he is definitely good with the interview. For this interview, he just wants to be called Kapaw, which is absolutely fine. Let's get the interview started and let's ask those questions. Alright, man, I am now recording. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, I can hear you loud and clear. Am I coming through okay?
Yep, you're coming absolutely fine. Let's start the interview. My first question for you is your username, aka author name, is Kapaw. Kapaw. My first question for you is why did you decide Kapaw to be your username?
Actually, my username is called Kapaw, not Kapa, but I'll still answer your question anyway. The reason I chose the username Kapaw was because I wanted to make a shorter username and I like to be cute, so I shortened the name Capybara. And capybaras are called Kapaw in Tagalog, and I like the sound of it, so I chose that to be my username.
My next question for you is the genre for the game is action. How come? How is the game action? And why did you decide for the genre for the game to be action?
I chose the game genre to be action because the premise of the game is that the main character was stranded on a planet with mutated monsters who were hostile towards him. So I thought action would be the perfect genre for it since he would have to fight to survive.
So, my next question for you is the title of the game is Mini Jam 169 in parentheses future Victoria Works or Victory. My question for you is why did you decide that to be your title of the game?
I got the title of the game from the Mini Jam 169 theme, which is future. The reason why I chose Victoria to be part of the title was because the game takes place 100 years in the future. So I decided to make a portmanteau of the words future and Victoria to name my game. Mini Jam 169 Future Victoria Works.
So, my next question for you the main person in the game is named Victory or Victoria, however you say her name. My question is why did you decide to name the main character of the game Victory?
I chose to name the main character Victoria to show her femininity, to make her stand out from the generic male main character that video games usually have, and because her name would fit in the futuristic sci-fi setting of the game.
My next question for you is in the game, she has two powers in order to defeat the enemies. She has a power where she shoots the enemies, but she also has a power where she can and fly in order to, shoot the enemies because, the enemies are in the sky. And in order for Victory to win, she needs to go in the sky and shoot the enemies. My question for you is how did Victory get those two powers?
The powers that Victoria has in the game are not actually powers given by some magical artifact or technology, as that would not fit the story theme. The source of her powers are actually through cybernetic implants in a spacesuit. The implants allow her to perform many actions such as fly and shoot, and the spacesuit protects her from the planet's atmosphere and provides oxygen. The cybernetic implants in the spacesuit are actually provided by the company Victoria works for, hence the name of the game, Victoria Works.
So in the game, there's this energy bar, and you have a certain amount of energy that you lose when you either shoot or move. You can gain it back when you stop for a little bit to gain the energy, but whenever you move left or right, or whenever you try to shoot the enemies, those are basically the two ways to lose that energy. My question for you: how come she loses energy when she either moves to shoot the enemies or when she basically just shoots the enemies? Like, how come she loses energy because of that?
The way the energy mechanic works is when she flies and shoots, it requires energy to do those actions. So she has limited energy so that it adds a layer of strategy in the gameplay, as the player would have to plan when to either fly and shoot enemies. The energy regenerates over time, so she would have to conserve her energy and plan which moments she has to use her energy. It's not only a mechanic for gameplay purposes, but it also adds to the story because the implants that give her energy takes a toll on her body, hence the limit.
My next question for you is: there's two power ups in the game. One of them is unlimited energy, and another one is extra score. My question for you is: what do those two power ups actually mean in the game?
When you choose the unlimited energy power-up, it gives you unlimited energy for a short time span. When you choose the extra score power-up, it increases the score you get when you defeat an enemy. When you choose either power-up, there's an advantage and a disadvantage to using them. The unlimited energy power-up makes the game slightly easier, but it also makes it a little harder because it would make some players more careless, while the extra score power-up makes the game slightly harder but will give the player more points.
So, my next question for you is: for those two power ups, you have the unlimited energy power up. Its main letter is an H, and for the extra score power up, you have it as an E. My question is: why did you choose the unlimited energy to be the letter H, and why did you choose the extra score to be the letter E to represent the two power ups?
The reason why I chose those letters to represent the two power-ups is because those letters were simply the first letters of the words the power-ups is based on, which is H for unlimited energy and E for extra score. I based the letters of the power-ups from the abbreviations of them, such as using E for extra and H for hyper to make them unique and recognizable.
So, my question is, and this is the biggest question for any interview when you talk about games: why did you exactly decide to make the game?
There are two reasons why I decided to make the game. One reason is that I wanted to learn Ren'Py, the game engine the game is made in, and making games is a good way to learn a game engine. Second reason is that I wanted to challenge myself as a developer. Even though the game is only 16 by 16 pixels, I still enjoyed the process of making each artwork and coding the game, and I am proud of the things I've been able to do while making the game.
All right, my next question for you is there anyone you want to credit that inspired you to make the game, or anyone who helped you make the game?
There are three people who inspired me and helped me, though indirectly. First, my father. My father was the one who introduced me to the game engine Ren'Py, which made me interested in making games in that game engine. Second, my friend Jonathan. He was the one who told me about the game jam on a Discord server and encouraged me to participate. Third, a game developer named Jae Joon Shin, the creator of a game known as Sunnyside. He was one of the first people to play my game and give me some tips.
All right, and my last question for you is there anything that you want to add that I have not said yet?
I just have one thing to add, and that is that I really appreciate you interviewing me and you asking me interesting questions about my game. I am honored that you would take the time and interest to do that. So thank you.
And I want to thank you for letting me do an interview with you. And I am glad that you were here today to do the interview.
It was my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me here to be interviewed. I enjoyed answering your questions.
And I want to thank you guys for watching this video today. This game is honestly really interesting. I know this is like AI, and I know this isn't actually really accurate to the game, but I do actually like the game because one, it brings back childhood, you know? It pretty much brings back childhood of an arcade game, you know, like Asteroids. And, you know, it's challenging because, you know, you have to move in order to defeat the enemies. And I really do like that. So I'm going to end it here for today. I'm not sure if I'll make another upload for an iOS game, but we'll just have to see about that. But I want to thank you guys for watching this video if you did. And yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.